Well, if you're like me, you love a good old fashioned, but it seems like they're almost always the same. And there's various ways that you can make them better. Today, I'm going to try a new one. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Speakeasy. Today I'm going to make an old fashioned. Now I know I've made old fashions before, and I'll put links to those down in the description, maybe a couple of them up here during the course of this video. But I was watching, and I've tried this before, but I was watching some other videos and it reminded me of it. The first time I tried it, it didn't work out so well, and that is having bacon washed bourbon. Now, I tried this before and it didn't work out so well. I couldn't quite get all the bacon out of the bacon grease out of the bourbon, and I think it started to go rancid on me. So I tried it again and I think I've cracked the code. Now, there may be different ways to do this, but this is the way I had to do it. So what I ended up doing, grabbed one of my favorite bourbons, Buffalo Trace. You can tell this one's bacon. And what I did was, this actually started out almost a full bottle. I've lost probably 2 ounces or 2.5, 3 ounces out of this bottle during this process. And you can go find videos on YouTube on how to make bacon washed bourbon. But like I said, this was the process I did. I poured the bourbon into a jar that you could seal on the top, sort of like a mason jar if you find one big enough. And then I took 2 ounces of fresh bacon grease. I didn't have any stored that was fresh, so I had to cook some bacon. Terrible situation. Luckily, I love bacon. And then I took the bacon grease, poured it in there, and then I let it put that in the freezer for a week. And I would check it every day. And what I did was, the first day I noticed all the bacon grease basically rose to the top, or there was some that settled on the bottom. And I was thinking, I need to make sure this integrates into the bourbon. So every day I would go in and I would just shake it up really good. So after a week, I got it out of the freezer. I got a big glass measuring bowl, and I took some cheesecloth and a fine strainer. I doubled the cheesecloth 3 or 4 times, put it into the strainer, and then I poured all of the bacon and bourbon out of the mason jar and strained the vast majority of the grease out of the bourbon. But then I had to squeeze it. You know, the bourbon kind of gathers into the grease too. Obviously, I lost some. Well, after I did all that, I noticed that after I poured it into my bourbon bottle, that it was cloudy. It was very cloudy. And so I thought, well, there's still bacon grease in my bourbon. So what I did was I put this bottle into the freezer and let it sit there for another day or 2, I forget. And then I got this back out and I did that process all over again, except I didn't use the cheesecloth this time. I used paper towels. I doubled up my paper towels, put them into that superfine strainer, and then slowly poured this through that because the paper towels wouldn't allow it to flow as fast as the cheesecloth. And then we have ended up with this. Now this one is still, I did that this morning, still kind of cold, so it's making my bottle sweat. And this is what I ended up with. Now, regular Buffalo Trace is going to look like this. This is an unopened bottle. So you can tell that there's a little bit of difference there. I don't think that there's enough grease left in there. I pretty much screened it all out. Any large pieces and small fine stuff. But again, I lost a good probably 3 ounces out of this bottle. But I think I got a good mixture. Now you can just smell the bacon. I don't think that it's too much. And I'm getting ready to make an old fashioned with buffalo with a trace of bacon. See what I did there? All right, so let's get started on this. We're going to start off with our mixing glass. And I like doing this with sugar cubes. And I just noticed, believe it or not, on the back of this sugar cube box is a recipe for an old fashioned. Who knew? Not me. I didn't even notice that when I first bought them. Okay, so we're going to take a sugar cube, drop it in our mixing glass. We're going to put 3 to 5 dashes of Angostura bitters on top of this sugar cube. Let that sit there. We're going to take just a touch of club soda. Not even a capful. I mean, just get a little bit in there to help that sugar dissolve. And we're going to muddle this up. Muddle this up real well. Get a good paste going in there. And then we shall. Sometimes you could take a piece of an orange and drop in there, or you could use orange Angostura bitters. I'm not going to do that on this one. I think that it's going to be fine just like this. You could muddle that piece of orange in there, or if you don't even want that, just throw in the orange Angostura bitters. But I think we're going to be good there. So then we're going to take 2 ounces of our bourbon. And while we're doing this, I have a glass here with with my ice cube. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to smoke this. So we're going to have a smoked bacon old fashioned. Now I've been trying to sit here and decide, do I want hickory or do I want apple? I've had apple bacon, I've had hickory. I think I'm going to go with apple. So we're going to take a pinch of sawdust, put that in there. Then we're going to torch this up. We're going to let that sit there while we throw some ice in our mixing glass. And we're going to stir this up for about 30 seconds. Now we've got that good and smoked there. We're going to take this and we are going to slowly pour this in here. And we're going to grab us an orange slice, some orange peel, we're going to take this and we're just going to express this over the top of it, get some of those oils in there, give it a good twist, run it around the top, drop that in there just like that. Matter of fact, I think I'll add one more thing to it. Grab me some of my homemade maraschino cherries here. Drop one of those right there just like that. And folks, there you have your smoked bacon old fashioned. Wow. Just a hint of the bacon taste. The smoke, the apple smoke, really sets it off. I think that's a winner right there. Let me know the different old fashions that you make. Have you switched it up? I mean, I like an old-fashioned, classic old-fashioned, but I like changing it up once in a while. Put it in the comments below. Let me know how you've changed up your old-fashioned. Hey, thanks for watching today. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Come back and see me next time here in the Speakeasy. Cheers.